Good morning children. This is our grade 5 science video class. Last unit. This is the last unit in our science book and this is our last lesson too. Okay, unit name is natural resources and lesson name is the environment. Okay, ENVIRONMENT. Environment. What is the meaning of the word environment? Surrounding. Environment means what? Surrounding. Okay. So, what is, look at your surrounding. What are the things are there? Some people's also there, isn't it? So, things and living things also there. Non-living things. Okay. And living things also there. People, person, plants, animals, all there, no? And things, table, desk, benches, fan, light, all these are non-living things, isn't it? So, what is meant by the environment means our surrounding. The same thing, we can say it as ecosystem. The three letter ECO is the short form of the environment. Eco, ecological, okay, short form. Okay, ecosystem. That means the living and non-living things. Okay, both the living and non-living things in the environment together form a ecosystem. Okay, the living and non-living things in an environment together form an ecosystem. Okay, see here interdependence in nature. What is meant by interdependence? See, the living things in the environment and the non-living things in the environment both are interdependence. ஒன்னை நம்பிதான் மத்தொன்னு இருக்கு. We can't live in this world separately. Okay, one or the other way we have to depend on others, other living things or non-living things. Okay, other persons and plants, animals, everything that we are going to see now. Interdependence in nature, it is the natural law. Okay, so first we will see how plants are interdependent along with the nature. See, plants, you know it very well. We are in 5th standard, we know it very well. Plants need carbon dioxide, sunlight, air and water to make their food, isn't it? So, carbon dioxide plant get from air and aquatic plants get carbon dioxide from water. And for what purpose they are need carbon dioxide, sunlight, water, everything to make food, isn't it? Plants prepare their own food. Even though they prepare their own food, they are in need of air, water and sunlight, isn't it? These are the non-living matters, isn't it? So, this thing we called it as interdependence in nature. Okay, plants depend on nature to prepare their own food. Okay, then animals, how animals are interdependent? So we also come under animals, no? Social animals, humans are social animals. Okay, we are in need of oxygen for breathing. From where we are getting the oxygen? The same environment, in the atmosphere we are getting the oxygen. Okay, and we are in need of water, isn't it? Air and water is the basic fundamental thing for the life, isn't it? So air and water, air from the environment we are getting and water for drinking. Okay, then see, as furthermore details we will see the same thing. See, animals depend on plants. Animals depend on plants for shelter. See, for example, we'll take the birds. Birds build nest where? On the tree top, on the branches of the tree, isn't it? So birds build nest, and for example only we are saying, we know it many things, isn't it? So the animals depend on plants for their shelter. Shelter means what in Tamil? Irupidam. Okay, tangra idam. Okay, birds build nest, then squirrels make holes in the tree trunk. Marathoda trunk, look at the picture. In tree trunk, birds build nest, and that squirrels make holes. That holes we called, particularly the holes which is made by squirrels to make a home like thing, no? So that we called it as dreys, D-R-E-Y-S. The squirrel home alone, the squirrel shelter alone called as dreys. Other holes, other birds also make holes, those who on the trunk, those holes are won't called as dreys. Only the squirrel's holes on the tree trunk we call it as dreys. Okay, so like that animals depend on plants for shelter. Okay, then food. It is completely understood. We know it very well, isn't it? Food. Animals depend on plants for food. Okay, and main thing for our life, we need to breathe, isn't it? So plants, from plants only we are getting oxygen. Okay, plants, they are doing photosynthesis work, that is food preparation work. On that work they are releasing oxygen, taking carbon dioxide. Plants taking in carbon dioxide and they are releasing out oxygen. So that oxygen we make utilized for our breathing. So animals depend on plants for shelter, food and oxygen. Animals depend on plants for shelter, food and oxygen. Clear, children? So the same way plants depend on animals. Okay, so fourth point, if we'll take the point wise, we'll take it as fourth point. Plants depend on animals. How it possible? See, look here. Plants are in need of carbon dioxide to make their own food. For the photosynthesis process, plants are in need of carbon dioxide. Isn't it, children? See, for that carbon dioxide, we are breathing oxygen which is released by plants, and we are breathe out carbon dioxide, and the animals too, isn't it? So that carbon dioxide is utilized by the plants for their food preparation. So plants depend on animals for carbon dioxide, and not only for that, and dispersal of seed also. Dispersal. In second lesson, I think in first lesson we studied about the dispersal of seeds. How animals are helping dispersal. Seed விதைகள் பரவுவதற்கு help பண்ணுது, isn't it? Dispersal of seeds. The animals, they are eating that. See, for example, if a squirrel is eating guava, that seeds they disperse. They eat in one place and they throw it in some other place. So in this way the seed dispersal happens. Okay, so animals help in seed dispersal and for pollination. So male flower, if you are going in higher classes, we will study about that flower nature and all. So male flower and female flower are there, that pollination work. So that is how the fruit will form. Then only the seed will come, no? So for pollination, that means one generation plant to next generation plants, this work, pollination work is very much important. This also done by animals. Okay, so plants depend on animals for carbon dioxide, for dispersal of seed and for pollination. Okay, for carbon dioxide, dispersal of seed and for pollination. So now we'll see about food. What are the kind of food are taken by the animals and how we divide the animal group by the way of the food taken by the animals. That means food relationship. Food relationship. See children, food relationship. Okay, how animals are divided according to their food habit. How animals are divided according to their food habit. See, we know this thing, that is plants are in need of air, water and sunlight to make their own food. Plants need air, water and sunlight to make their own food. Clear? See, because the plants doesn't depend on anything for the preparation of food, it makes their own food, so that only plants are called as producer. Because plants make their own food, plants are called as producers. Okay, producers. Okay, these plants are eaten by some kind of animals, isn't it? Those animals, they eat only the plant food items. For example, cow, goat, horse, deer and all. See, look at the picture. The cow is taking the grass. Goat is eating the small herbs. Horses, deer. See, such kind of animals, they take only the plant food. They take only the plant food. So, those group of animals, we called it as herbs, because herb means plants. Okay, so those kind of animals we called herbivores. Vores means taking. Herb, plants, taking. Vores. V-O-R-E-S means taking in as food. So, herbivores. Those kind of animals are called herbivores. So, these animals consumes the plants. Consume na eduthukiradhu. These animals consume the plants. First level. Plants prepare own food. So, we given a name to the whole group of plants as producers. So, those plants are taken directly by these kind of animals. So, this kind of animals we called as primary consumers. First level consumers, primary consumers. Okay, then these animals, cow, goat, horse and deer, are eaten by some carnivores. Some carnivorous animals, no? So, who are they? Lion. See, lion is checking a cow. Lion is eating the cow. Tiger catching the deer. Eagle catches small rats and all, no? Dog. So, such kind of animals we called as carnivores. They taking flesh of, they are eating the flesh of other animals. So that only we group them under the carnivorous animals. Carnivores. So those animals are called as secondary consumers. Those carnivorous animals are called as secondary consumers. Not only these carnivorous are secondary consumers, along with this, omnivores. Omni means ellame. They eat plant food and they eat flesh of other animals. So both. Omni means all. Both. Omnivores. Ellathiyum eduthukom. Os na taking. So omnivores, who are they? We are omnivores. We take plant food as well as we are taking eating meat, chicken like that and all we are taking, no. So we come under the group omnivores. Okay, bear also. See, look at that, bear takes a plant food and it takes fish also. So bear also comes under omnivores group. So both carnivores and omnivores comes under secondary consumers. So producers, plants, first level animals, herbivores, second level consumers, carnivores and omnivores are secondary consumers. Then we'll go for tertiary consumers, or we can say it as third level tertiary consumers, or we can say it as scavengers. Who are scavengers? See, look at the picture. Hyena. Hyena is the tiger is eaten the deer, capturing the deer, and tiger takes the deer as food, but it left some remainings are there. In the deer body some remainings are there. That remainings are taken by such kind of animals, hyena, vulture, raccoons, isn't it? The carnivores catch the prey, but they can't take the full prey as a food. They take whatever they needed, then the remainings, the leftover part of that prey is eaten by these kind of animals. Who are they? Hyena, vulture, raccoons. So they are called as scavengers. They are called as scavengers. They are not catching the prey directly. They eating the remainings of the dead animals, no? So they are comes under the group called scavengers. So then, see, that scavenger also won't eat all the food completely. Some remainings are there. Those remains of dead animals and plants, dead plants, things are left on the soil, isn't it? So those things are get decomposed in the soil. The dead plants and animal remainings or get decomposed in the soil. How it is possible? How they get decomposed? Because in the soil bacteria and fungi are present. Bacteria and fungi are there. Those microorganisms, we call that as micro, very minute, smaller, very small. We can't see those organisms by our normal eye. So such kind of small organisms, small living things, we call as microorganism. Those microorganisms are present in our soil. That soil helps the dead remains of plants and animals to decompose. Decompose na அழுகி போறதுக்கு. So they decompose thoroughly, and that decomposed matter, no, it turned into nutrients. The decomposed matter present in the soil turned into nutrients for the animals, for the plants. The plants absorbs the nutrients from the soil, no? How it is possible? Because the decomposition process happens in the soil because of these microorganisms, bacteria and fungi. So that soil now it's rich in nutrients. That nutrients are absorbed back by the plants. So this is how the cycle works in our ecosystem, in our environment. So now we'll see about the food chain, how this ecosystem works, how the cycle, I said no, how that cycle comes. So now we'll see about the food chain. Food chain. What chain? Food chain. உணவு சங்கிலி. See, plants and animals are interdependent. That interdependence only we name it as food chain. See, plants and animals in an ecosystem, in the environment, depend on each other. That is interdependence. ஒன்னுக்கு ஒன்னு சார்ந்து. In a cycle of eating and being eaten, that we call it as food chain. See, we'll see that in example, then you understand what is the meaning of this sentence. Okay, see, producer, who are called as producer are plants, because the plants are able to prepare their growth, so we called plants as producers. Clear? See, then the producer is eaten by who? The herbivores animals, cow, deer, like that, isn't it? Herbivores animals. Then those herbivores are eaten by whom? Carnivores, lion, tiger, like. So carnivores. And the animals who will take the flesh and plants, those kind of animals we call omnivores. So omnivores, human, bear. So producers, look at the chain: producer, herbivores, carnivores and omnivores. Then they go to the scavengers, hyena, raccoons, like that. Scavengers. Then the food is traveled. See, the same food from the plant is traveled. See, herbivores, carnivores, omnivores and scavengers. Then to scavengers to decomposers. Then what is the work of decomposers? It decomposes every food items and it makes the decomposed thing into nutrients. சத்துக்களாக மாற்றிடுது. Nutrients. Okay, that nutrients are present in the soil. Those nutrients are again absorbed by the plants. The decomposes the dead remains of plants and animals. Those nutrients are present in the soil. That nutrients are again absorbed back by the plants. So now we call the plants as producers. That producer is taken by herbivores, carnivores, omnivores, scavengers, decomposers, and again nutrients in soil. So this cycle continues. This chain of action continues. This is what we called it as food chain. Now we'll see this sentence. You will understand it very clearly. Plants and animals in an ecosystem depend on each other in a cycle of eating and being eaten. That cycle we called it as food chain. Clear, children? Now we'll see if any one thing is removed in the food chain. See, this is the best example for food chain. Grass is taken by grasshopper, and grasshopper is eaten by frog, and frog is eaten by snake, and snake by hawk. So this we call it as food chain, no? If any one animal is removed from the food chain, what will happen? If I completely catch all the snakes in the particular region, what will happen? Any one kind of group is removed from the food chain, what will happen? So that is a balance in nature. Is there any imbalance will happen in nature? So that thing we are going to see now. Balance in nature. See, children, balance in nature. Balance in nature. This is what we see as food chain, isn't it? Grass, grasshopper, that means the grass is taken by grasshopper, grasshopper is eaten by frog, and frog is eaten by snake, and the snake is taken by eagle. See, if eagle is removed in this food chain, no eagle is there, all the eagle get vanished, ella engyo maranjiruchu, ella alinjiruchu. If that scenario is there, what will happen in the balance of nature? See, eagles are killed. If eagles are killed, snakes, number of snakes will increase. If eagles are killed, number of snakes will increase. Okay, if number of snakes will increase, what happened to the frogs? All the frogs frogs are eaten, that means eaten by the snake. So the number of frog will decrease. எல்லாமே பாம்பு சாப்பிட்ரும். So the frogs number will decrease. If frogs are not there, who will increase in number? Grasshopper will increase in its number. Grasshopper will increase. And if grasshopper increase, what is the food for the grasshopper? It takes all the plants and grass, all the things, no, it eats. So the plants will decrease. Number of plants will decrease. If number of plants are not will decrease, means the plants are not there, it not produce their food. So we and animals won't get food. So plants are the main source of food, no, in this world. So if plants are not there, all the plants are eaten by grasshopper. As a result, we won't get any food from the plants. If there is no plants, no food for animals and humans. So no food, so we'll go for starvation. Starvation means what? Pattini, pasi, pattini. Starvation. So that it leads, animals and humans will die soon, isn't it? So if animals and humans will die, this will bring the imbalance in nature. That will bring the imbalance in nature. So see, what I said in first, that if we remove the eagle from the food chain, what will happen? So if the eagles are killed, snakes will increase, frogs will decrease, grasshopper will increase, and plants will decrease. Then as a result, no food in this world, then no life in this world. So this is how the imbalance will happen in the nature. So what are the problems? I said snakes, eagles are killed, no? What imbalance or what are the problems are in the nature which make this imbalance? What are the environmental problems? Now we will see what are the environmental problems are in our ecosystem. Environmental problems. Environmental problems. இயற்கையாகவே இருக்கிற பிரச்சனைகள். Okay, who brings these problems to the environment? We. As human, we are only bringing the problem to the environment. Humans are the only living things who can alter the environment according to their needs. So we, according to our needs, alter the environment. So that's why problem comes. See, listen clearly. See what way we are altering the environment, what way we are bringing the problem to the environment. See people, we cut down trees. We are cutting down trees, isn't it? For what purpose we are cutting down trees? For making windows and doors, desks and benches, sofas, for many furniture work and many other needs we are cutting down the trees for making papers. So many things we are making from the plants. So we are cutting down the trees for housing and for agriculture. To make a field into agriculture field, we are cutting down the trees in that area. So that way we are doing deforestation. That way we are doing deforestation. So we are cutting down trees. So we only bringing the problem to the environment. So what will happen if many trees are being cut down for many purpose? What will happen to the environment? Environmental imbalance will happen. How? How that it will get imbalance? That means first thing, soil erosion will come. Soil will be eroded. If no trees in that area, soil erosion will be happen. Then if there is no tree, and automatically the forest life will get disturbed. No, the animals who lives in that area lost their shelter, adukana irupidam poidum, lost their shelter and habitat. They are getting food from those plants only. No, if we cut down those trees, they lost their shelter and habitat. Animals lost their shelter and habitat. Then we know what is endangered animals. That means they are in the danger, isn't it? Few in numbers. They are few in numbers in this world. If the same scenario will continue for a long time, the few number of animals also won't be exist in future. So that means the endangered animals become extinct. இப்போ tiger கம்மி நம்பர்ல தான் இருக்கு. இதே மாதிரி இருந்துட்டே இருந்ததுன்னா, if we are not doing any special activity to improve the number of tigers in this world, in future there won't be any tiger in this world. Tiger இல்லாம போயிடும். That condition we call extinct. Now tiger or in endangered condition and that animal became extinct. The endangered animals became extinct. Why all those things will happen? Because of humans activities. Who are the problem creators? We. Humans are problem creators. Because they cut down tree, the soil erosion will happen, animals lost their shelter and habitat, whole forest life will get disturbed. So the endangered animals become extinct. And not only we are cutting down the trees, we are doing poaching also. Poaching means what? Capturing the animals. Why we are capturing the animals? வேட்டையாடுதல். Why we are capturing the animals? For clothing, for cosmetics. Okay, that too we'll agree. Clothing and cosmetics. See, for pleasure also. For pleasure also some people capture the animals. Poaching, வேட்டையாடுதல். It should be banned. Very bad. It should be banned. தடை செய்யப்படணும். Okay. And we are not only doing this problem. See, we are creating much more dangerous problem. See, pollution also we are creating. Pollution. Where we are creating pollution? In water, air and in soil. All the way we are creating the pollutions. How? Who is creating the pollution? See, from the waste from factories and waste from homes, everything brings pollution to this world. Okay, so this pollution in air, water and soil make the earth warm. So that we called it as global warming. All this pollution in air, water and soil makes the earth in warm condition, that we called as global warming. Clear children? Now we will see about greenhouse effect. That means this global warming, then what is greenhouse effect? How does a globe, ulagam, eppadi warm agudhu, that we call as a greenhouse effect. So those things we are going to see now. Say children, greenhouse effect. What is meant by this word greenhouse effect? Means, see, look at the picture. This is our earth, isn't it? Here, before going to this greenhouse effect, I'll explain a simple thing, then we'll come to this concept. See, when we are moving to any hill station during the winter season, have you noticed a greenhouse is built, glass house is built, inside that small plants, herbs, nursery gardens are there, no? Have you noticed such green houses, glass houses, where they grow small plants? That we call it as nursery gardens. In hill stations and all, we'll see during the winter season. Because we know it very well, plants are in need of somewhat warmthness to grow well, isn't it? Sunlight is needed for the plants. During the winter season, the plant struggle hard to find out the sunlight, find out the heat. So this kind of houses are built. Look at the picture. These kind of houses are built that we called as the glass house or greenhouse, isn't it? So this, why this setup is arranged in this way? What is the purpose? Because the heat which passes, the light which passes through the glass house, that is trapped, the light and heat energy get trapped inside the glass, and thus it gives that heat to the plants which is grows inside the house. So that warmthness is needed for the plant, so it grow well. Those plants will grow well. They won't affected by the severity of the winter season. Then they grow well. So this is the phenomena is hidden in this greenhouse. That means the heat which is trapped inside, it gives the heat to the plant to grow well. That is the phenomenon. That is the concept. Clear, children? The same concept is applied naturally. Look at the earth. Naturally, this effect, this greenhouse effect will be there in our earth. The carbon dioxide, the atmospheric gas, the percentage of gases in the atmosphere we studied in the previous lessons, isn't it? So that atmospheric gases, that carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, water vapor which is present in the atmospheric gases. So those atmospheric gases retain the heat energy. So trapping the sun's heat energy, those gases trapping the sun's heat energy. These gases trapping the sun's heat energy, trapping the takka vachukkum. Okay, iruthi vechukkum. Tanga vachukkirathu. So trapping the heat energy that helps in warming up the earth. That's why plants grow well in our earth. So this green effect we called as greenhouse effect. Normally, naturally this effect will be there. That greenhouse effect, that only helps in warming up the earth, and this the plants and trees, herbs, everything. The plant life is grow well in our earth. If any imbalance is happen in these gases, the percentage should be minimum. What is the percentage of carbon dioxide? Look at there. So this should be there. If that percentage will increase, if that imbalance will get that balance will get disturbed, this will brings the imbalance in the atmospheric gases. If amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere or nitrous oxide is increased or methane is increased in the normal level, this brings the severe greenhouse effect. So the trapping of sun's heat energy will be there, but it beyond the normal level. So it increases the amount of infrared radiations. That means the light, heat energy, it brings that radiation rays also. So that increase the infrared radiations also. So that and all we won't need it. That is not good for the plant and animal life on the earth. So if that normal level increased, so increase in the amount of infrared radiations, and it leads to the global warming. If it is normal condition, it is normal greenhouse condition, it is well and good. But if that level is increased, going beyond the level means it brings the global warming. Globe na earth is pseudoid, global warming. This condition we call it as global warming. So aside the carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane and all, no, these gases we called as greenhouse gases. This effect we call it as greenhouse effect. Okay, so these greenhouse gases in some more detail we will see now. Greenhouse gases. greenhouse gases. What are the gases or responsible for the greenhouse effect? Those gases are called as greenhouse gases. What are the gases? Carbon dioxide, the first and foremost gas which is responsible for the greenhouse effect is carbon dioxide gas. So how if the level of carbon dioxide gas is present in the atmosphere, that level increases, it will gives the severe effect of greenhouse effect. So what way it get increased? The carbon dioxide level, what way it get increased? The excessive burning of fossil fuels. What is that? Petrol, diesel and all we are using for the vehicle, no? To drive the vehicle. So that it gives the smoke, and thus that excessive usage brings the increase in carbon dioxide and the atmospheric gases. So those smoke comes out from the vehicle and from the industries and from power stations. So the smokes, all these smoke get settled in the atmosphere, no? So it increases. The smoke is main content is carbon dioxide. So it increases the level of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So it brings the more heating of the earth, globe. So that's we call it as greenhouse effect or global warming. So smoke from factories and power stations and we are distracting. Human activities brings more environmental problems. I said no. What is the main problem? Humans are destructing the forest. So destruction of forest life. So the destruction of forest life, the plant, everything get lost means there is no pure fresh air in this atmosphere. So destruction of forest, that imbalance brings the warming up of the earth. So another main gas is methane. So also a natural gas. The herbivores digest, when the herbivores eat and digest, no, that time it releases the methane gas. So it's a natural gas and it chlorofluorocarbons. What is it? It's the name of the gas. Atmosphere irukku gas oda peru carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbon. What is that? In short form we can say write it as CFC, should be write in caps alone. Okay, what is that? Chlorofluorocarbon means it is a coolant gas which is used in coolants and refrigerators. Okay, AC refrigerators and all we are using this gas. And water vapor present in air and ozone gas, O3 ozone O3. O2 means oxygen, O3 means ozone. So these gases we call it as greenhouse gases. If this gases composition should be in normal in the atmospheric air percentage, if the composition of gases increased in level in the atmosphere, thus brings the global warming. If it is in normal condition, it is good for the plant and human, all the life on the earth. But this level get disturbed. That means if level get increased means that brings the global warming. What are the greenhouse gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, water vapor and ozone. Clear, children? And now we will see the global warming in detail. Global warming. So globe, the earth warms up. How the earth gets warms up? Due to the increase in level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. Due to the increase in level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, there is an increase in temperature of the earth. Increase in temperature of the earth. This we called it as global warming. See, due to the increase in level of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, there is an increase in the temperature of the earth. This we called it as global warming. See, if you notice the last 100 years, the earth temperature, so it increases 1 degree Fahrenheit. It increases by 1 degree Fahrenheit. The same scenario continues, the same pollution, the same thing is prolonged for a long time, what will happen to our earth? So the next 100 years, maybe our earth temperature will increase to 2 degree Fahrenheit or to 6 degree Fahrenheit. Okay, if it increase in such temperature, what will happen to our earth? See, we know it very well on the south side and north side, the polar region, the ice land is there, no? Those ice land get, polar region ice caps get melt because of the increase in temperature of the whole earth. Because of the increase in temperature of this world, the polar ice caps get melt. Then those level of ocean water will increase. So that polar ice caps get melt. So because of that, the ocean level, water level in the ocean will increase, and the nearby regions get flooded. Clear, children? So these ill effects will happen because of the global warming. So what are the steps we can take to prevent this global warming, to safeguard our globe, to safeguard our earth? What can we do? What are the preventive measures we can take to safeguard the earth in the normal temperature condition, not to increase the temperature of the earth? What can we do? See, the many countries are gone for the agreement, preventive measures. What are the preventive measures we can take? Means தடுப்பு நடவடிக்கைகள் என்ன எடுக்கலாம்னா, the countries they gone for an agreement, they signed in that agreement. What is in their agreement means, we want to use the greenhouse gases in more amount, and the fossil fuels, the petrol, diesel and all, we are saying no in the factories and are using. So we won't produce such gases, such harmful gases. The countries are signed in that agreement. So in that agreements, we are reduce the use of fossil fuels, and the transport, mode of transport also will reduce the usage of factories and power stations. That means we won't release the harmful gases into the atmosphere. Such agreement they signed. That agreement name we called as Kyoto Protocol. The name of that agreement is, where they signed, you know, that agreement name is Kyoto Protocol Agreement. So in that agreement, many countries are signed in that agreement. So what are the pollutions bring the increase in the what is that? Greenhouse gases. Which pollution increases the greenhouse gases? Those things we are going to see now. Pollution. That is, the pollution only brings the global warming, isn't it? What is meant by pollution? First of all, the presence of harmful substance in air, water and land, that we called as pollution, isn't it? The presence of harmful substance. So what are the harmful substances? From where they are coming to that air, water and land? What are the harmful substances? Means smoke from vehicles, isn't it? That is the harmful substance. So smoke from vehicles and smoke from the factories. These are the harmful gases which get settled in the atmosphere. It brings the harmful ill effect on both plant and animal, human life. Okay, so that see, look at that picture, the nuclear power station, how much pollution, how much air pollution it creates. So this brings the air pollution. Then for land pollution, the chemicals from that waste water from the factories are not treated properly, they directly leaving the wastewater into the river. So thus it brings the water pollution. And that too it brings the same land pollution. No, the harmful chemicals, if it gets settled on the land won't on that land we won't grow the crops properly. So the fertile land become barren land. If more chemical get deposited on the soil, the fertile land become barren land. So it brings that chemicals brings both water pollution and land pollution. So smokes from vehicles brings that air pollution and land pollution and water pollution. So these things we call it as harmful substance. So this harmful substance only gives pollution. So what can be done to prevent the pollution? What are the steps should be taken to prevent this pollution? So we can restrict the usage of vehicles and we can restrict the usage of electricity. So we should be more careful while using the fuels and while using the electricity. We should be more careful. As a good citizen, we can do this, isn't it? Factories should not release harmful gases. So the government have to go for such a rule. So if the factories are emitting any harmful gases, they'll ban the license of that factory. So the factory should not release harmful gases and they should not leave the waste water as such. They should treat the waste water. So the waste water should be treated. And we should not use the plastic bags. So avoid usage of plastic bags. And we should plant more trees. And government should take steps to safeguard our wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. Clear, children? So we should follow the 3 RS rules. So these are the preventive measures what can be done to stop the pollution, isn't it? So we should follow the 3 RS rules. What are the 3 RS rules means? See, the first letter is R, no? That's why we called it as 3 RS rules. So reduce, reuse and recycle. We should reduce the waste thing. We should not make many waste. If anything is there, we can reuse the waste thing. That thing we studied in that lesson, I think, 4th lesson, I think. So reduce, reuse and recycling the thing. Clear? And so this we coming to the end of this lesson. Along with this lesson, we given the PDF format of classwork and worksheet and book exercise. Please finish that without any spelling mistake. Thank you, children.